Hey guys, good evening. Can you guys hear me okay back there?
Yeah.
Great. Welcome to another great event for Mobile Monday Silicon Valley. Tonight is Spotlight Japan, and we have some great companies that come out a long way to present the latest and greatest of what's happening in Japan. I think you guys will enjoy this. The different presenters that we brought over for tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tapia. I chair the Mobile Mondays here in Silicon Valley, and my day job is Director of Products at GetJar. So I'll kind of go over an introduction of what Mobile Monday is, because like half the, I bet, who here tonight is their first time coming? Okay, yeah, I always get like half the room. So I'm going to go over a couple of slides here tonight, kind of explain what is Mobile Monday, kind of find out how do I sign up to the events, etc. And I also, when you signed up, I asked for a couple of survey questions, and I'll share some of the results to those with you guys. And then after I talk about the little intro to Mobile Monday, I'll have Tim Curley come over and welcome you to PARC. And Tim is our host for the venue. And then I'll hand it over after Tim. I'll hand it over to our MC. So a little bit about Mobile Monday. Mobile Monday definitely is a community grown. It's all volunteer organization, and it definitely represents the cross section of the mobile telecom community. And we're an international group, and we're based in many different cities around the world. It was founded in 2000 in Helsinki, and they've got groups now running all over the world in different regions. We're about over 100,000 folks in membership lists in about 80 plus different cities, and in 2010 we held over 900 different events. So we do high impact events. We, especially here in Silicon Valley, we have a large developer community. And we also work with a lot of companies, you know, the big tier ones in the valley, but also even small startups. Currently, Mobile Monday America is made up of Austin, Boston, Dallas, Denver, New York, Seattle, Silicon Valley, and Washington. So when you guys are traveling, remember that you also have brothers and sisters in different cities. And you know, definitely Mobile Mondays are held on Monday, so if you're in a different city, you find yourself on a Monday night, you won't want to see if the city has a local chapter. We're a 501c6 nonprofit trade organization, all volunteer, and these are the big cities that we participate with in our Mobile Monday America. We have about 20,000 folks in our email list, and we're growing. And events, so typically, you know, we get 400 to 600 per event. Tonight we're a little smaller because of the venue, but typically folks have been to other events, a little bit larger in scale. Here's some of our past sponsors. If you guys are interested in sponsoring, go ahead and contact me. And I want to show you a little bit about the website. So mobilemonday.us is our city chapter website for Silicon Valley. And up here you have on home. And so pretty much you're not going to get spammed on this. This essentially is all announcements. We talk about on the About section, it says how to contact us. We have a calendar of events, so you can look from month to month. How to join us and follow us. So we have a Yahoo group known as Mobile Monday. We're also on Twitter, known as MMSV. We do demo nights, so we have a couple coming up for the rest of the year. So this is a place to submit your app. So if you want to be included in a demo, we did enterprise stuff last month, I believe. And we had like 13 companies to present their enterprise stuff. So that's an example of, I look at this list when I'm going to be doing a demo night. So it's kind of, if you want your stuff to be considered this year, just go ahead and submit it. We take a look at it. We'll drop you an email if we want to have you present. I'm also open to topic ideas. So a lot of you guys have good topics on here. So if you have a good idea, please submit it, and we'll take a look at those. Thanks to our volunteer, John Lynn, up here in front. John videotapes these and puts them on Ustream. So if you happen to miss the event, you can always go back to videos, and you can find yourself, finding out what happened last month if you had missed it, or recap if you or didn't catch everything for the presenters. So I'm going to take you to some demographics on some questions that I asked you guys. So So for this group here, I asked, which phone do you currently use? A large portion of you said iPhone, and so it looks like some of you also have two phones, an iPhone or an Android, and then a small portion of you guys have BlackBerry, and then some of the Finns are here. Some Europeans, 24. I also asked what was your role, because it's interesting to see the demographics between topics. This one, about 20 of you folks, 19 of you folks are in venture capital. 100 of you guys were developers. So interesting breakdown here. Product and marketing, and this other group here is business development and sales, and then a few media and journalists. That's interesting. So typically this ends up being a third developers, a third product and marketing, a third BD, and then with some miscellaneous service providers. And then I asked, was it your first time at Mobile Monday? And yes, it's interesting to see that almost half of you guys at every event are new. I asked some development questions about platforms, and I'm doing this and engaging this every month because it's really going to be interesting to see that over a year's time how this changes. And it definitely has changed since last year. So if I would have looked a year and a half ago to compare iOS and Android was still lagging behind. And this is interesting to see that they're on par. Also, a couple of months ago, Windows Mobile didn't exist wasn't even on the map here. And now look, it's starting to grow. BlackBerry is seeing some attrition, but Symbian and Nokia are definitely holding their position for now. So this is interesting to watch on Windows Mobile. I wonder what this is going to be doing 6 to 12 months from now. And definitely this Android number, how big this is going to be compared to iOS. So something to watch out, guys. And then also, I asked why you guys attended. So the networking and industry with colleagues, so here are the drinkers. And then here, to learn more about mobile, okay, here are the people that want to learn something. And then people looking for a job, which is interesting because a few months ago this was a lot bigger. So definitely the industry is employing a lot more. It looks a little bit, at least the local economy is stronger. And then here's a good one. If I only had a chance to build apps for one platform, what would it be? And I'm really trying to be a binary on this. I don't want to add a third platform into this, but really if you're looking for an Android-ish thing, Android is now a really strong competitor to what iPhone is. And that's something to take a look at as well. I think in a couple of months, if Windows Mobile gets a strong pulling, I might add that into the mix there. And then these are the different app stores. So just looking at the major app stores and third-party app stores. So we're looking at, if you were an Android developer, where would you publish? And you're seeing where folks will publish to GetJar, they'll publish definitely in the Android market and Amazon. And I think my point here almost every month is, guys, even if you're just a developer and have no marketing experience, the logical sense makes the more distribution channels you have, the more your app probably is going to be seen and downloaded. So I would expect that this thing at some point in time is all equal on par if you're an educated app developer. Just the more channels you have, the better the audience you have. And then I asked a couple of questions on topics, and definitely folks are interested in demo nights. So there's a lot of social people here. They want no talks, just drinks. And here's the technical guys. But I am hesitant because the history of Mobile Monday, we used to throw code up on the wall, and I don't know if Mike Prince is here or someone. So there was an old history of doing that on the wall. So, but we kind of quickly migrated away from that. But I was just curious to see if folks would be interested in more technical sessions. And then it's interesting, monetization and marketing. How can I make more money? So definitely, this is maybe something for the future to look at on monetization opportunities. Because I would say a majority of you folks already have the app developed, at least the app developed. Now you're trying to figure out how to monetize on it, specifically if you have like 300 apps to compete with. So that's pretty much it, guys. And I'll be tracking these stats from month to month to see how things change here in Silicon Valley. I'll be curious to see over time how these look. But I want to take a couple of moments next to introduce Tim Curley, our host, and he has a couple of things to say about PARC and Actually, they actually really do stuff here.
How many folks by show of hands are familiar with the park anyway? That's not bad. Okay, well that's good. Well first of all, welcome to Mobile Monday, and I really appreciate having the opportunity to host Mobile Monday. I think it's a fantastic organization. I think it's doing a lot to promote the industry. It's a great place to network with entrepreneurs and investors alike. So we're just happy to host you here. Special welcome to the folks from Japan. Welcome. I know it's a long journey out here to California, and we appreciate having you here. And of course, our prayers and best wishes are for a quick recovery in Japan as well. So I'll just go into a little bit of history here. So we call ourselves the business of breakthroughs, and this actual research center was struck in 1973. Actually, Dr. George Paik somehow convinced the folks at Xerox Xerox headquarters in Rochester to set up a research organization out here in Palo Alto, California. Probably took a little convincing to do that, but there's a couple of reasons for that. He really believed that innovation really required a lot of autonomy from the day-to-day operations of the business. So he opened doors here in 1975, and by the way, this building was designed by Gyo Obata, who's a Japanese-American architect. So it's an interesting place if you ever get a chance to tour it. We make use of a lot of light and open spaces, and which also contributes towards innovation. So the mantra here was Office of the Future. Been a lot of quantum breakthroughs and major technological advancements. The laser printer, the Dover, was invented here. Work on object-oriented programming. First personal computer, the Altos, was invented here. Ethernet came out of PARC here in this building by Bob Metcalf, who later went on to start 3Com. The graphical user interface is probably one of the most famous stories that came out of PARC. Of course, Steve Jobs was here in 1979, December, with a team of engineers looking at that. And they eventually adopted it into Apple Lisa as well as the Macintosh. So great story there. VLSI circuit design, blue laser, natural language processing, optical storage, ubiquitous computing, led by Mark Weiser, who has sort of coined the frame, ubiquitous computing. All those things happen here and a lot more. So it's interesting that in a 250,000 square foot place, so much invention and innovation happening here. At any given moment, we're also working on incubation companies here in startups. So typically upstairs, there's 3 to 4 companies that we're working on that, whether it's outside investors or internal people that want to build a business around some of the core IP we do, that's going on. Major spin-off activity historically, Documentum was spun out of here, which is now EMC, of course. Some PARC engineers, John Warnick and Charles Jeske, leveraged much of their PARC research here to go start a company called Adobe. PowerSet, which is a natural language processing engine, it was acquired by Microsoft, which is with the goal of enhancing Bing search technology. So there's a lot of things that have happened here. The list goes on. So in 2002, though, it became an independent subsidiary of Xerox, which really gave us a lot of latitude to go out and work with other commercial entities. So what we do today is we work with a lot of commercial industry customers who come here to leverage our background IP to work on client services around innovation. They get access to our more than 200 research scientists in areas of interest. And the other thing is, I just want to say in terms of what we're doing today, we're advanced research in the areas of content-centric networking, context-aware mobile computing, collaborative virtual environments, social computing, ethnography, clean water, renewable energy. We're all doing these types of things here, and the list is even longer than that. And finally, to close, to get my 5-minute plug here, thank you very much, Mario, for this. We're doing a lot in the areas of ubiquitous computing, primarily in what we call mobile hyper-personalization, context-aware types of technologies. And we actually built a platform that have a set of APIs for mobile application developers to reach into, to deliver sets of information to us that we can process, deliver back to their application to build context in the framework of their application. So if anybody's interested in that sort of technology for things you're building, I look forward to talking to you. I'll be here after the event. And that's my 5-minute plug. Mario, thank you very much for having me up here. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim. So just like a couple of minutes, thanks PARC for venue and sponsorship, and also Nico Nico for also being our co-sponsor for tonight. I'll actually introduce Scott Ellman, and Scott will be doing our emceeing of all the presenters tonight, and he'll take it from here now.
Thank you, Mario. How's that for a start? What shall I do for an encore, huh? Mario, thanks very much. I appreciate it. And I also want to thank everybody who's here in the audience. And a very special thanks, let me add my name as well, to those thanking the folks who've come to speak to us tonight. Many of them traveled to join us here tonight. Some of them actually traveled all the way from Japan, specifically to be with us tonight. So we greatly appreciate that. So we're focusing on Japan tonight, and one might ask, why Japan? Well, I think there are a number of reasons, many, many reasons. Maybe the top three, I would say, are, first of all, Japan is a huge economy, right? Until recently, it was the second largest, it's still the third largest economy in the world. It's a highly advanced, technologically speaking, a highly advanced society, certainly. And in terms of mobile, in many ways, one could say that Japan is kind of the cradle of mobile civilization, in the same way that you could say that Africa is the cradle of human civilization. That's where humans first evolved. Mobile civilization kind of evolved in Japan. In fact, there was kind of a thriving mobile civilization in Japan, while most of the rest of the world was still stuck in the flip phone, or maybe the pre-flip phone, Stone Age or Bronze Age. Many of the technologies that we take for granted, we and everyone else takes for granted today, in mobile, made their first appearance in Japan. Things like browser-based mobile web, things like mobile payments, mobile commerce, cell phone cameras, both still and video. These are things that showed up first in Japan. But even more than just the technology side of it, in a very real sense, kind of mobile culture showed up in Japan first, right? Things like multimedia communication, the texting champions of the world, and beyond that. And even things like, there's a literary genre called email novels, right, which is now spread elsewhere in the world. Well, they started in Japan. So, and as a result of that, I think it's clear Japan has this tremendous trove of intellectual capital and human capital that's been focused on mobile computing for a very long time, and was actually focused on it before much of the rest of the world was. Now, things are changing quite rapidly in Japan today, as they are in the rest of the world, and I think largely because of the advent of the smartphone. Most of the innovation that happened in Japan earlier happened on what we now call feature phones. But smartphones have debuted everywhere, including Japan, and they've caught on like wildfire. They're taking off. I think these days, sales of smartphones outpace sales of feature phones in Japan. And so the installed bases will cross as well. Those lines will cross in the not-too-distant future. So there's a lot going on, obviously, in Japan and elsewhere. And what better time to get together with some of our counterparts from Japan to compare notes, and also to learn about some of the technologies and the trends that are defining the next generation of mobile computing in Japan. So that's what we're here to do tonight. So without any further ado, let me introduce our first speaker. Gary Brown is a consultant and also the director for North America for Morpho. And Morpho is a leader in software-based image processing for mobile devices. So I'll turn it over to Gary.
Thanks, Scott. Can you all hear me? All right, I think I'm set. I'm gonna unleash myself from behind this stage and tell you a little about Morpho. You probably, except for the folks from Japan here, you probably have not heard of Morpho, but we're in 100 million or more handsets worldwide. We're a company that's primarily aimed at cameras. And as Scott said, the cradle of cameras and imaging in mobile was Japan, and it's true that back in 2004, the company was founded. 2005, they started doing tests on imaging software that could be used in mobile cameras. And by the time Morpho launched their first products in Japan in 2006, Japan was already building 3 and 5 megapixel handsets. I think we were still on 1 megapixel handsets here in North America, and have now caught up to 5. I mean, if you measure progress by megapixels, which most intelligent people wouldn't do just that. But I'm not from Japan. I should first explain that I'm from all the way from San Jose, and I'm the staff person that's been working with Morpho here on US business development for 3.5 years. I've been consulting primarily for Morpho, have now branched out and started doing consulting for some other companies as well. It's really exciting because I think what Japan startups, technology companies that are small, have to offer is really huge, although it's very troublesome and difficult and very challenging, I think, especially for some of the bright people in Japan to bring their technology to Europe and North America. There's a hugely different culture, there's a hugely different business culture, and you can imagine if you're in an office in Japan and you're going to meet with some other companies like Sharp or Panasonic or Sony Ericsson, also in Tokyo, just along the train line, things get very easy. People have the same context, they understand each other's language, they tell each other things that you wouldn't tell each other in first meetings here. I've been in meetings in Japan and I've seen a lot of detail come out of handset companies that you just wouldn't hear here when you're meeting with Apple for the first time, or Motorola for the first time, or Nokia, or Microsoft technology companies. But I've helped the company get its start and grow quite a lot in North America. Currently, they have 90% 90% market share in Japan in mobile cameras in various technologies that are licensed as IP directly to those handset makers. The company, because they don't sell directly to consumers or don't do a lot of their business directly to consumers as apps on app stores, that's why you probably haven't heard of them. The company got its start when maybe some of you may not know that the law changed in Japan and you can actually spin off companies out of universities in 2004. Something that we had done in the US for many years prior to that. But now, University of Tokyo, in fact, there's another example of a company speaking just next that's a spin-off out of University of Tokyo. They even have a VC at University of Tokyo that took money from the government to fund companies like Morpho. So Morpho was one of the first companies spun out of University of Tokyo and has been doing fairly well. Here's the first major technology to come out of Morpho was image stabilization. And it's important for camera phones that do 3 megapixel and above. So in 2006 was already important in Japan, not yet in the US, but the technology that Morpho had invented would basically take multiple images and be able, using multiple degrees of freedom in 3D to align those images and then bring them together and give you a sharper picture with lower noise. And this was an extremely interesting invention. This is the typical shot at the top, and then depending on whether you want the low memory version or the high performance version, you get a sharper image, and depending on whether you're in a low light environment, or maybe you're just moving the camera around, you're in a bar, you're meeting with friends in the evening, it is very common for people to take photos in low light environments or indoor, and this is where the software is used the most. And this is a typical Japanese slide which just covers all the technology. Basically, multiple images are taken and aligned, and there's some patented stuff in between called photo solid, and that's the technology. And it's interesting how some foreign companies have taken to this technology very well, and some look at it and go, well, we have research labs, and they can do a little bit better, perhaps. And so the business actually has been quite challenging and interesting for the company, because it's not just about the technology. Of course, it's about the cost, and it's about other factors as well. Other technologies since the 2006 photo solid has hit the market in Japan, and then later when we moved to 3 megapixel in North America, it became a natural choice. But the company went on to do other things with that same alignment technology, such as quick panorama, which was one of the first technologies that's licensed. Sony is doing something similar for their own cameras, but basically takes multiple frames of video and is able to stitch each frame together in real time. And so as you swipe the phone from one end to the other, you get a beautiful panorama photo, and the stitching is done, again, not just aligning in 2 dimensions like MPEG or other kinds of technologies, but in all 6 degrees of freedom of rotation and translation. So you get a really nice panorama view, something that they've recently then put out on the iPhone App Store and are working on Android as well. And so the update that, for those of you who may have heard of Morpho and been tracking the company, in Japan now you have displays that are 3D. I think it was Sharp that just came out with a phone that has a 3D display. And Morpho had integrated technology for Sharp to take 3D images. So it's a natural extension of taking a panorama photo to be able to do it in 3D, being able to detect what the left eye and the right eye should see, and then synthesize to a 3D image. It's interesting too that demos we would show people would be with the red and blue glasses, but of course if you have a 3D display on the phone that you don't need glasses to see, it works very well. Another technology that Apple just hit the market with last summer and has made a huge splash is HDR. Another example of technology that Morpho has reduced the memory requirement, reduced the processing requirement, and been able to do in a mobile phone. This is high dynamic range, and it's very important for a mobile phone to have such technology because you're not always walking around with a tripod to put the mobile phone on. So because it's shaking around, you'd like to be able to align and get image stabilization while taking multiple exposure times of the image, something that's very difficult to do. So the company's investing a lot of resources in Japan on this technology in multiple revisions that will take advantage of the image stabilization technology of the company. And another example is an effects engine. So we have some fundamental features like image and video stabilization and some fun features which have actually been huge hits in Japan, but I get kind of laughed at when I show American and European companies this technology. It will take your eyes and make them bigger, it will add eyelashes, it will make your lips fuller, it will clear your skin complexion, and things like that. And I was showing some people demos, so if you want to see demos of these features, you can talk to me afterwards. In the last couple of minutes, I thought I would say a few things about the business, because I think this is one of the biggest important things to take away from my own experience is the business culture is very different in the US. And in Japan, the business, you can derive a business from having some cool demos, showing a company like Sharp, Panasonic, or Docomo, you can go to the carriers. They're impressed with the technology enough to then fund you. They give you lots of money, and then you create the technology, you customize it for the phone, and can deploy it. So it's like a design consulting business model, and Morpho had got a lot of success in the last 4 years, 5 years doing that business model. The business model kind of has to change, because you can't just show Apple a technology and say, hey Steve, pay me some money, I'll fix it up for your iPhone. It's a lot different. A lot of companies want to see it already productized, already working on their platform, already proven on their platform, and it takes a lot of engineering resources to go through the necessary initial stages of proving the technology on a new platform. So companies are very skeptical up front and don't always just say, oh, 90% of the market share in Japan, well, great. Usually they say, I don't care, how does it work on my platform? So there's a lot of proving yourself up front and a lot of investment required, I think, to do business internationally. And what Morpho is learning is that takes a lot of sending engineers to the US, sending engineers abroad, doing a lot of evaluation and supporting evaluation. So that's one thing that they're learning to overcome, and in the future you should be seeing a lot of Morpho and hopefully hearing a lot more about them as they escape from Japan and dominate worldwide. Thank you very much.
We'll go ahead and take a couple of questions for each presenter. So who has a question for Gary? Questions? I know you mentioned kind of in passing there the iPhone app. Could you just repeat that and talk also about any other features that you plan to productize?
Yeah, in order to get the attention of companies like Nokia and Apple, the company actually did some UI development and put an app out on the Nokia OV store called Quick Panorama, and that actually got awards at last year's Nokia World. Also did the same thing, put Quick Panorama on the iTunes store. And so you can find those, you can download them, and you can use them. They were really tools to start meeting with product groups and showing those companies demos on their own phones, more than they were consumer, It's not the main business model of the company to go to consumers, but you can still find, if you look up Morpho Inc. on the iTunes store or on OV, you can find Morpho apps.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
So while Hal is getting ready, let me introduce Hal. So Hal Seki is chief. Oh, are we okay? Hal Seki is chief of Cirius Labs, which is a part of Cirius Technologies. So Cirius, and that's Cirius with a C. So Cirius Technologies recognized back in 2004, I think, that this thing called LBS had a future, and so they proceeded to build a location-based ad network, a very successful one, in Japan. So they launched, and then a few years later launched one in the US as well. And I guess Yahoo Japan caught wind of it because last summer they acquired Cirius Technologies. So here to talk a little bit about why they might have done that, here's Hal Seki from Cirius.
Thank you, Scott.
Who's the other one?
Okay. Good evening. Thank you for inviting me to such a great event. I'm going to speak about the mobile location-based services in Japan. Here we go. I'm Haru Seki. I've worked for Cirius Technologies as a geo developer and researcher. In 2006, Cirius Technologies launched a leading location-based ad network in Japan called Alto. In 2009, we launched Alto in the US. And last year, we were acquired by Yahoo Japan. So we now have Yahoo support as we continue to innovate in location-based advertising. In addition to my position at Cirius, I'm also CEO of Geo Republic Japan, the company providing GIS development services using open source software. Also, I have been the chief organizer of Geo Media Summit, one of the biggest free conference for geo web services in Japan for the last 3 years. And this slide gives an overview of Japan's mobile industry today. The Japanese mobile market is quite mature. We have had any of today's cutting-edge technologies for a number of years, so always in future phones. Today there are about 120 million mobile subscribers, many on smartphones. Almost 100 million have data plans. 37 million have IC wallet, which is mobile payment system based on the Felica RFID card, similar in concept to NFC. The Japanese mobile ad market is almost 1.5 billion US dollars, and 6% of phones have GPS function. Next, let me show some examples of mobile location-based services in Japan. As you saw on the last slide, many users have IC wallet in Japan. They are called osaifu keitai in Japanese. Users can charge their phone with actual money and then use this money to purchase goods at convenience stores, supermarket, or to purchase train ticket by simply tapping their phone through the IC reader. Some users don't want to change to their iPhone because the iPhone does not have an IC wallet. Quite a few users carry 2 phones because they want to keep on using IC wallet. Recently, Android phone starting to include an IC wallet. NFC is compatible with existing format Felica. My own opinion is that a lot of useful services will be created in near future if developers come to be able to access the usage history of the osaifu keitai. Location-based games. Since location-based mobile games that use GPS functionality were introduced more than 10 years ago, there are some mature location-based game companies in Japan. I think these companies have a great opportunity to extend their reach on smartphones. And Colopura is one of the leaders in this field. It's kind of cross between Farmville and Waze. It has 1.5 million users. Users can earn virtual money based on the amount of distance that they travel. And they can buy virtual items that they can use to make their town fancier. Colopura has been running many campaigns train operators, local retail shops, and travel agencies. For example, a shop will designate the product as a Kolopura product. If users come to this shop and purchase this product, they will receive a simple card, and that gives special virtual items related to the shop. As a result, the users are physically moving to the shop to earn virtual money to collect the virtual items. Last year, Kolopura started the location game platform with the mobile operator KDDI. The platform encourages the third parties to create and monetize their location-based game. So location-based games still have a huge potential in Japan. And location-based ad. Cirius Technologies has been running a location-based mobile ad platform since 2006. AdLocal was the largest such platform in Japan for 3 years. One point, we also had an office in Sunnyvale for doing such business in the United States. Last summer, we shut down our US office when we were acquired by Yahoo Japan. We are currently working to merge AdLocal with Yahoo's ad platform. When users see our partner's website, the publisher sends the user location information to AdLocal. Publishers determine their location by using GPS functionality or contextual inference. Advertisers specify a physical area where they want their ad to run. And AdLocal serves its ad and when the users are in that area. Because we are target segmentation based on geography, our network requires a huge amount of location area traffic. But users' requests are often concentrated in big cities like this. This heat map indicate the user traffic on one of our partner sites. You can see there are small traffic areas. The traffic of such area is difficult to sell. So we deliver non-location ads if we can match suitable ads. We have been expanding location requests by collecting a lot of partners. AdLocal presumes the user location by their past request, but we needed a long time for getting our network affected sites in Japan. We are first mover for location-based advertising in Japan. As I said, our network was the largest in Japan for 3 years, based on total spending. Now that we are part of Yahoo Japan, we have access to tremendous traffic. Yahoo Japan's total page view in March was 54.6 billion. Of course, the location area content is a small part of that, but it is growing fast, and today it is still huge. We are currently working to merge AdLocal with the Yahoo Japan ad platform. As I said earlier, mobile services are well adapted in Japan, but most of them are optimized for Japanese feature phones. Recently, the smartphone share has been growing dramatically. People are shifting to smartphones. So smartphone only makes up 10% of device of active phones. Their share of sales exceeded 50% last month. Yahoo Japan smartphone page view has increased by 1,700% since December 2009. So the current challenge for Japan mobile market is changing mobile services so that they work with smartphones. In addition, Yahoo Japan is providing a location platform that users can use for free. Yahoo Open Local Platform, usually called YOLP, encourages developers to make location-based applications by providing tools to make development easy. We provide a local search API, geocoder, and web map API. All of those are currently only in Japanese. However, if you need a POI database, heat map, or driving directions in Japan, it will still be very helpful to you. That's all. Thank you very much for your time. I'm looking forward to answering your questions.
Do we have any questions for Hal? This gentleman has his hand up.
In your last slide, you mentioned a transition from feature phones to smartphones. Do you see smartphones being easier to develop for versus versus a bunch of different feature phones?
Yeah, smartphone developing software for smartphone is easier than it for feature phones.
Do you think there are lessons that you learned from having to deal with all of these feature phones that help you with making things for smartphones?
Yes. Sorry, I need get it there. Sorry. Can I say Japanese? Sorry. スマートフォンの開発の場合は、日本の場合は、いろんな端末にいろんな開発をしなきゃいけない。でもスマートフォンの開発はすごく覚えられるので、その方が開発的に楽。
So the easiest thing is that in Japan there's so many different kinds of smartphones to develop for, and very few smartphones, feature phones. So the number of separate developments.
Another question? This gentleman in a second.
It's interesting you used the term, because I saw on the Google Android developers group people didn't know what the term meant either. What is a heat map?
Yeah. Heat map meaning you can use this feature for many things for displaying the data. For example, we can show the traffic, other traffic for this like this. You can easy to use with the locational data, and you can show the high traffic area for this car. Yeah. Can I?
Okay, thank you. I wish we could take more questions, but Hal is not going back to Japan until tomorrow, so he will be around at the meeting that follows this session. Okay, thank you, Hal. Okay, our next presenter is Mr. Ken Kito, and Ken is with Nico. Excuse me. Ken is with Nico Nico, which is a very popular video sharing site in Japan. And I have to take my own poll. How many Nico Chu do we have in the audience? 1, 2, 3. Oh, we have quite a few. So for those like myself who didn't know what a Nico Chu was before today, a Nico Chu is a Nico Nico fanatic. Yes? A big fan of Nico Nico, and one who spends a good deal of time creating content for the Nico Nico site, and or commenting on the content that's being created by other users. So we'll ask Ken to give us a hint as to when we might see more Nico Chu among non-Japanese. Ken?
Thank you, Scott. Let me just prepare a little bit here. Well, again, good evening, everyone. My name is Ken Kito, and can I just fix it? Like as Scott said, I'm from a company called Nico Nico Douga, or the current the official name is actually SD Networks, and I'm the manager there, and on behalf of the company, and also our CEO and president, James Spam. Actually, he was planning to come down here today, but because of some other kind of sort of schedule change, I'm here as a substitute. And I'd like to just warn you, if you have any technical questions, just email us. I'll give you the email address later. But anyway, to explain what our company is about, as you can see right here, well, we are basically, let's say, in a simple word, the company to provide, entertainment service on the website. And the feature we have is more like the combination of, let's say, YouTube and Twitter. And here is the company. Oh, by the way, this is our company mascot. We call TV Kun. It's a TV character, because also it's a website and saying we really respect the old days, and that's why we use the TV kind of character on that. And we have some character goods for it. At least you could buy in Japan. Anyway, let's see. Oh, by the way, I just take the blame for the weather because our company is based in Seattle, and I just flew down here today, and I'm going back, up there tomorrow. Sounds like, the day after tomorrow you're gonna have a better weather. So that's me. Anyway, well, as you can see, our company is, like I said, the combination of Twitter and Facebook. YouTube. Oh, did I? Shoot. Oh yes, sorry. Yes, what is NicoNico.com? Actually, we put beta right now because we haven't actually launched, our official website for the US market, or let's say English, market yet. But as a preview, we do already have the NicoNico.com, so you can actually access and see what it is like. But to explain again our company concept, the product itself is, as you see, it's a new online video experience with real-time and overlaid comments on the video. And again, the same thing, it's got YouTube and the Nico Nico, excuse me, YouTube and Twitter combined. Now later I'll show you the actual site we have. Anyway, for the English version, English site, we just actually opened last month, and it was April 19th. And since then, we already have more than 2,000 members from the US alone. But to again explain our Nico Nico Douga, the company in Japan, our headquarters. Well, they were founded back in 2007 January, so it's been about more than a little bit more than 3 years, and since in the last 3 years, now we have viewers and also well, what we have is general viewers and also premium viewers. General viewers, just like anybody can really join to watch the program with it's a free of charge. But in a premium membership, we, at least in Japan, we charge those people to become a premium member to really watch the programs. And the biggest difference between the general viewers and also premium viewers is that for premium viewers, you can just watch any program, as many as you want, and also without any interruption. Meaning, while you're checking the video. Well, our website, the screen is very clean and it's very easy to watch, and also you can even look back the programs we had. But the general members, you can just see what we have currently right now at the time you watch. So there's a kind of limitation and restrictions there. And okay, I'd like to let's see. Let me just go through the whole explanation first, because I was told I actually have just 10 minutes to finish the whole explanation here. But as a NicoNico.com beta, as I explained for the English viewers, well, at least in Japan since 2007 January, they have, well, we have now over 25 million viewers, including the premium and general members. And even for the premium members, we have since last, actually 2011 February, It's been about 2 months, but anyway, we have 1.1 million viewers, premium members. So mainly, the money comes from those kind of premium members, but at the same time, we're still looking for other ways to expand our business. And here in the US, like let's say English, website is one of the answers we have come up with. And in fact, we are really trying to hook some of the people from the US, but not only from the US, but also from other countries. And so this is, right now, the screen shows, well, basically what we do, provide stream the content. We'll provide stream the video content, including Japanese animes, and promote NicoNico.com at anime events. And like it says, visiting anime events and hosting a booth, we promote our website. And in fact, in July in LA, we're going to have our own booth at the anime show in LA. And that's one of the biggest in the US to host any Japanese kind of related animes and the event. And we're going to be having our booth there. And so that's the second one. And the third one is broadcast online live programs. And actually, this is also one of the totally different new contents we have compared to other website companies. Nobody really has as a feature. And what that is it says providing unique and interesting live programs was exclusively on NicoNico.com. And we aim to reach to more fans. And that actually, this morning, we had a live broadcasting from Florida. And maybe some of you might be aware that we had this morning, Space Shuttle Endeavour finally launched. And we had the whole crew members over there, to broadcast the whole thing live. And in fact, this morning I was watching, as well since 4 o'clock this morning. So I'm really sleepy, honestly, right now. Please bear with me. Anyway, so for the program alone, we had more than 66,000 viewers, not only from Japan but also from Taiwan, even from the US, surprisingly. Although we haven't been really advertising our English version yet. So that said, the interest from English speakers are getting bigger and bigger every day, and some of the viewers from the US or English speaking countries, they are what we call kind of anime enthusiasts or some kind of gamers, and those people who love animes or games always kind of see the Japanese as a new place to get the whole new ideas and whole new update. And luckily, those people have been also following our website already, through the Japanese website first and now English even. So we are really hoping to open up our official website in the next a couple of months, so we can really entertain some English speakers as well. And so, but honestly, right now we are still trying to find out how we can really bring the whole business here in the US. At least provide streamed content. Right now, mainly Japanese anime is being considered. So we sometimes we always use the animes from Japan with subtitles or some kind of English help, so that non-Japanese speakers can really watch, enjoy. And next one, we can also trying to find out how we, once we have, once we launch, our official English, website, how can we just really, charge the viewers? Honestly, right now it's still up in the air, but again, in a couple of months, we should be really, deciding and release the whole, official comment to the public. So please just give us a little more time. But anyway, and also, earlier, as I mentioned, we do attend any anime. Actually, So does any of you guys know what anime is? Like, if you don't know anime, raise your hands. So everybody knows, right? Anime? Okay, good. Anime is like animated, well, cartoons basically, but it's more like exclusively for the Japanese, animations, because they have kind of different characters and such. Excuse me. Again, yeah, we have attended some of the anime events, and in fact, the latest one we attended was what we call a SakuraCon, and it was held in Seattle back in April from 22nd to 24th. And what we did is actually we broadcasted the whole thing, for 3 days live, and members, including general and premium members, really enjoyed programs, live. And, again, I'd like to stress that the biggest feature we have is while we're broadcasting live, viewers can really comment and text the programs. And, that really created the whole programs even more interesting. And in fact, for the SakuraCon, for instance, we had more than 100,000 viewers every day, not only from Japan, but also from the US and other countries. And like I said this morning, more than 66,000 viewers from Japan, the US, Taiwan, also enjoyed watching the space shuttle endeavor. Excuse me. So again, our program is really different from any other, websites you might know, and texting your comments makes a huge difference. And also, while we are making any programs live, if viewers just text you, like let's say if I was the MC and shooting the live picture. And as a viewer yourself, you can say, "Hey, who is that guy behind you?" And while watching it, we, as an MC, I can ask the guy, simultaneously. So by doing it, the viewers feel very attached to the programs, and also, us as the producing company, we are also getting the whole feedback instantly from the viewers, and so that's a huge. Potential, huge, feature we have. Again, I don't think you've ever heard of anything like that before, and I'm so proud of, doing it. And that's why we'd like to really expand our business in the US, and we are doing it already, and we're just waiting for some time to really release our official website. Okay, and here are some of the programs we have at least from Japan, or some of the anime. The screens, you could watch from the US, through the English website. And again, we started with the anime game, more like the Japanese subculture things. We also now have different programs such as, again, Space Shuttle, and also we broadcast fashion shows. Like I said, last Friday, we had a Seattle Fashion Week. And we had a live, broadcasting there. And again, while shooting it, we had so many comments from other countries, including the US. So again, it is really a good thing and good feeling as a part of the company. But also, we are planning to go into the politics as well, political events, and probably we are planning to broadcast Republicans or Democrats, party phenomenon or events from this year for the American viewers. Well, any questions? Well, you can email me, or like I said, please email me at info at nicovideo.com for any technical questions. Well, just one last thing. I'd like to just show you. Wait, okay, right here. This is our Japanese, website. I know everything is, written in Japanese, so keep smiling, okay? But right here, I think we have some English version. Yes. Also, again, this is the NicoNico.com data. Nothing is really official, but just to give you some ideas. Well, right now, see, as you can see some English, comments. But when we have the right picture, it's really fun. I mean, I'd like to stress that. Well, seeing is believing, right? Please go to our website, NicoNico.com, and before you enter, get out of this office, I'll give you a brochure of our company. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. Probably have time for one question.
So are people viewing these videos on their cell phones or also
Absolutely.
Broadcasting them?
Absolutely, yeah, ask that question. Well, at least in Japan, what they do, when they make some comments while watching, especially young kids, they actually text from their cell phones, and that's why those kind of comments, we get so many of them at once because so many people just watch it, and also one last thing I forgot to mention, in Japan, at least kids in their 20s. 1/3 of those kids are members of our website. Just wanted to stress that. Again, thank you.
So did we convert anyone to Nico Chu tonight?
Just watch it, please.
At least one back there.
Right.
Very good. All right, thanks, Ken. So, our next company has a very catchy name. It's called Naked Technology. And their flagship product has a very catchy premise as well. It's a cloud-based mobile app platform that allows developers to build both smartphone and feature phone applications with the same single code base. It's very interesting. So here to tell us a little bit about that platform and also about a new offering from the company that's based on that platform, we have the CEO, Yuusuke Asakura. We have Hajime Hotta, CTO, and Miku Hirano, Product Manager. Folks.
Cool, go back to the PC.
So hello everybody, we are Naked Technology from Tokyo, Japan, and I'm the President and CEO Yuusuke Asakura. And here we have our super geek CTO Hajime, and she's our product manager Miku Hirano. And basically we are an app developer with our original technology. And when we started up our company, we were the university student, and now we are funded by the University of Tokyo. Today, we have very great companies, I mean, like Morpho, Cirius Technologies, and Nico Nico, and Gree. And compared to them, we are still in very early stage. But I think we believe that we will be the future greatest mobile app company in the next generation. So today, we would like to introduce our brand new app called Photo, and this is a photo sharing app. And we would like to introduce our app development technology called Curley as well. So before getting into this detail, let me share how I feel toward the current social network service. Yes, I like Facebook, and I really like it. And I think I know it's a very good way to keep in touch with my friends. But to be honest, sometimes I feel a bit difficult to communicate on Facebook. Let me take one example. Our team arrived at Bay Area last Saturday, and we were very excited. Yeah, maybe we were too excited. And that night, we went out to have beer, and we were drunk and completely drunk. So after coming back to the hotel, our Trickster product manager, Miku, did something crazy to me. Basically. So she painted my face while I was sleeping. What was that she tried to post it on Facebook. Well, I don't want to look like this, and I don't want it seen by my business partners and our investors. As you see, we have very many different people on our Facebook, and but at the same time, we are sharing the same stuff with all people, and sometimes it feels like painful to me. Let me take another example. This is me. This is my portrait on our corporate website. Looks like a very credible business person. In order to keep my image, I cannot share my best memory at the university school festival. And I cannot share my best trip memories in New York City. It's very sad. So after all, the more people are involved, the more complicated communication becomes. Now, some players are noticing this problem and trying to fix it. By saying some players, I mean Color, PARC, or Douga, and so on. But the problem with client services is, one of the problems with client services is that they cannot give us pass to all of my friends. So I cannot share my life with my close friends who don't have iPhone. Well, and I tried another one, but after all, I got only a few parts after I used another group chatting service. So no service succeeded to convince me why I have to create new groups on Java. So definitely, we do need some momentum to create new groups. So we need some momentum to create new groups. So as no service kills pains of us, finally we decided to make it by ourselves. Here it is, photo. So, Nico, please go ahead.
Could you switch to the screen? Thank you. Yeah. Photo is a combination service of photo sharing and group texting. Photo provides the easiest way to share a photo and then with friends and then keep in touch with them. And the magic of photo is letting users have private groups 10 times as many as in other group texting apps. So let me demo this magic. So, okay, first step is taking a photo. So I need your help actually. So are there anybody who wants to have a photo with me? Okay, so can you come to the stage please? Can you take a photo of us? Thanks. Thank you very much. So this is a photo, looks like very good, and I like this. Okay, so now the second step is just picking friends that I want to share with. And this is the list of all the friends who is connected on locally saved on iPhone and also on Facebook or Twitter. So now I pick some friends here. Here, Hajime. And then is this guy? Okay. Then and also I pick some friends here, and it doesn't matter if they're photo user or not. So you can, if you want, you can send, you can share a photo with anybody who anybody who is connected to you. And then just tap the send button. That's it. Now I got a new group here. So you can see the members here. Then you can see the photo that I just uploaded now. And this is really easy to create a private group. And like once you create a group, you can enjoy the communication here, like uploading photos or commenting to a photo or just texting like this. Yeah, that's. So now you understand how easy and how intuitive to create a new group here. So this is the magic, and so you will have if you start these stories, you will have dozens of private groups on Photo, and then you will enjoy the private conversation here. That's all. Thank you.
So, thank you, Miku. And imagine the daily conversation. We need to some topics or some triggers to start group conversation. Now, Photo will group group your friends after photo sharing, so that you guys can have some topic and keep on daily conversation after that. So we believe that this will be the next new standard of virtual communication. And in order to create this app, we've taken advantage of our app development platform called Colors. So Hajime will explain it.
Hi, I'm certainly a geek, but not super geek. And to build the photo, we use this Colors. Colors is leading mobile technology in Japan that bridge the gap between the feature phone and smartphone. These are listed achievement of Colors. We have 2 million of users and hitting 50% of active rates, and also the Colors-based application is running on 200 more devices. Colors has 3 features. One is that cross devices. If the developers write only one source code, then all the devices, including iPhone or Android or even feature phones, all the application has run there. The second feature is the app analytics, and the server-side programs that processing billions of transactions in real time and visualizing like this. Third feature is a live update. So with this feature, user can get the upgraded version of the application without any prompting. So this slide summarizes the Colors. Colors is a cloud-based mobile app solution, and it has 3 features. One is cross devices, one is app analytics, and then live updates.
So see, this is Colors, and we've been licensing out this technology to app developers. So today we've introduced our brand new app, Photo and Colors. And lastly, I'd like to introduce you. I'd like to let you know that we've just launched Photo just 2 hours ago, and now it's available on Android markets. So your feedback is highly appreciated, and so please use it and have fun. Thank you so much.
Time for one question? Anybody?
Yeah, is that a transaction in one of the images? When you purchase things?
Which one? You mean Photo or Colors?
It was in the Colors. Yeah.
Colors. So the kind of the business model for Colors?
Yes.
The purchase model?
Colors are used in 2 ways. One is just internal use, because Photo is built on Colors. And secondly, it's a licensed business. It's the traditional business for us, and it's just have 2 business models. One is the one-time license fee, and other one is the a monthly fee for using the cloud-based program.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, so our last presenter tonight is Taku Kawane. Taku is Vice President of Business Operations at Gree. So Gree is Japan's leading social mobile game developer. They're a publicly traded company. They have a market cap that's over $3 billion, probably $3.5 billion, I guess. Even more than $3.5 billion, but who's counting? And according to Deloitte, they were actually the fastest growing tech company in all of Japan last year. They're very much, is that right? Yeah. They're very much a household name in Japan. And they've also embarked on some pretty aggressive expansion efforts to extend that brand to North America and beyond. So Taku's going to tell us all about that.
All right, thank you. I'm not really prepared for the presentation, yes, although I made up this slides. But I'd love to get more questions than showing something tech, right? Now it's 8:30 p.m. You're tired, I know that. So, anyways, let me connect my battery because it's gonna be dying. All right. Yeah, I just plugged in. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Good to go. All right. All right. All right. Gree. We have now 3 entities. One, as you know, in Japan, in Tokyo, we established in December 2004 with the vision of to be the global #1 internet company. By Tanaka-san, who is actually my longtime friend from like 8 years ago. At the time, when he founded the company, yeah, I knew him very well, like kind of drinking buddy. But I ended up not joining the company. I think that's one regret that I made, because soon after that, the company went to public, right? Yeah, I missed the IPO stuff at the time. Now it's really growing, and the number of employees are close to 400 in Japan. Now, this year, we established Gree International in San Francisco. I'm the VP of the Gree International. And we are focused on building mobile social gaming for smartphones, both on iPhones and Android. As you know, I think some of you, or many of you guys actually know OpenFeint, the largest mobile gaming network in the world, with 75 million users already, with close to 20,000 gaming developers on board. We acquired the company last month. Then, yeah, we worked together to be the leading, actually the #1 social gaming company. They are focused on mobile gaming network or platform, and we, International, is focused on mobile gaming. And I'm going to show you the most important slide of the night. So that's the only thing, that maybe the most important thing you should remember. We are hiring. Please visit gree/gree-corp.com or just send an email if you are a little bit interested in joining like the coolest, the biggest mobile social gaming company, right? And either you are engineers or product managers or biz dev guy or marketing, we are hiring in all positions. All right, that's it. I'm sorry, but this is the most important stuff I've ever made. So, as he said, yeah, we are really big. Now it's close to also over $4 billion market cap. We are the number 20 internet companies in the world in terms of market cap. So #1 Google, blah, 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 and then we are top 20, or actually now top 17-ish. I'm going to explain a little bit about the business in Japan. What do we do there? we are really growing fast, like as he said, like 4,000% growth rate with right now $700 million revenues. I think in these markets, like mobile app providers, making such amount of money is, I think, unique and special with that high profit margin. All right. So that's why we were able to buy OpenFeint. And I think the interesting stats here would be the yes, 25 million registered users. That means 1 out of 4 Japanese are our members, basically. 1 out of 4 Japanese people who have mobile are our members. ARPU, we have really high ARPU, like more than $2. Divided by total registered users. It's not just the RPPU, average revenue per paid user. It's not that. It's actually per user. That's, I think, big deal. One interesting, thing we do in Japan is because we have such a high ARPU and high margin, we can invest that money, the profit, to the promotions or user acquisitions, like we do TV commercials. We are, I think, the number 1 company in Japan in terms of impressions for TV ads. So we reinvest those money to acquire users or engage more users and then generate, because we know the ROI is positive, then it's a virtuous cycle. This is our snapshot of our business in Japan. We have social games, we make our games in-house. Also, we have a lot of partners, like big guys from Sega, and a lot of like individual developers are building applications on top of our platform. And then we just started our network business, and then our foundation is a social networking service, Gree. We have our service, like a diary and everything that you can think of about social networking on mobile. So the point is, we have everything end-to-end, not just like platform provider or game developer. We have everything, so that's the key to that success. All right, there are a couple of games. We have 8 to 10 games that we make, and then we have over, I think, 500 games developed by other third parties. Now, on smartphones, though, we have, I think, 50-ish games. So I'm going to show you some of the games that we have on smartphones. If I can use this one correctly. Okay. That's interesting. How did you... Oh, somebody actually changed it. I don't know, it's automatic. Alright, this is Gree app. I don't know how I can adjust that. Okay, there we go. This is the top page of the iPhone application. Although we have a native app, basically those are the web view, HTML5 based. And particularly that apps are HTML5 based right now. So that we can provide, because we are originally from feature phones, so we are going to be building a web-based application. And also so that we can provide consistent experience across feature phones and the other, Android and iOS by providing this through HTML5. Go to applications and then let's say, and this is one of the games that we build in-house, Monster Planet. It's like a Pokemon game that you can collect those monsters and then grow them and then fight each other with friends. Let's go to my farm. I think it's really cute. I like the character Shikanoko. That's my buddy. And then let me try to battle against somebody else. And then by the way, these are the battle buddy, and I'm gonna pick somebody like this. Battle start. By the way, the Japanese don't really use past tense. That's why it's not lost, it's loose. Or people don't really understand that. Or people don't really care if it's past tense. Anyways, I lost it, so I gotta do something else. Anyways, so for the sake of the time, I'm gonna stop here. But the interesting thing is that it's really engaging. Like you can battle against your friends or your virtual friends. You can find friends that way. And also there are a lot of those news feeds or promotions around the game. So you can find friends, find new games, applications. So those are the things we implement very well so that people can engage every day. All right. So that's that, and then maybe people are curious about OpenFeint, but I don't think I can talk a lot about OpenFeint, except that now we have 100 million users combined, so I think that's really big. So our strategy is the simply put, we're gonna share, like we're gonna create a common API, so we're gonna try to come up with a key solution for developers so that the developers can provide their application for both platforms in a minimum porting cost. And at the same time, OpenFeint is going to focus on, again, the platform, and we are focused on platform in Japan as well as building our social games. So we're going to put our games on both platforms so that we can showcase the ability of those platforms for other developers, so they can leverage our social features. And also what we do now is to pump up OpenFeint. We can provide the expertise on OpenFeint so that they can be like us, like high up, very engaging platform. That's that. I'm going to skip this, it's a little too detailed. But if you are developers, there are lots of supports that we can provide. So just contact us. And then one more again, the most important slide. And then I'm happy to take your questions. Thank you.
What technology do you use for your games? Is it Adobe Flash or something you developed in-house? And what do you see?
Yeah, Flash. Yeah, right now in Japan it's a Flash-based for the feature fonts. For the games, I think I mean HTML plus Flash. And then, as I said, for smartphones, because of that, as you know, iOS stuff, HTML5. We are now building in the US, in Gree International, we are building native apps for Android and iOS. So, you know, like a Java and also, yeah, Objective-C, yeah. Maybe.
Sure. Yeah. Been many Asian social networks, social gaming sites that have tried to come to the US in the past. What are the keys to success for you?
One key for the success is OpenFeint. They have a biggest presence in the market already. So acquiring them and working with them is one key, I think. And the second point would be the content. The content is still king. So I don't know if we want to just bring these games that I just showed and then translate into English and then to publish it. We are now building brand new games tailored to the market. We researched a lot about the user preference here in the US. So that's the second piece, the key building the customized content for the market. And that's the key, that's the second part. The third point would be that still we believe that the people's fundamental needs would be the same across those regions. We know how people want to compete each other. We know people want to showcase their success on the games. So we can, you know, leverage the expertise and knowledge and then pump up our social games as well as the OpenFeint. So that's the third point, that identifying the key fundamental needs across regions, then leverage that. So that's the third piece, I would say. And maybe fourth one would be partnership, right? Not just doing by myself only. Yeah.
Well, I think. It's my show. So.
I wanted to ask the points of revenue. So, is it a subscription, virtual goods? What is the basis of revenue?
Mostly virtual goods. In Japan, it's that $700 million, mostly from virtual goods sales, meaning virtual currency that we use in games. So people pay a lot, like $2.2, meaning $2.2 per users, meaning like a bunch of dollars per paid users. So it's mostly by virtual goods and some advertising revenues. Yeah, those two.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
know that there's some folks here who want to talk to some of our presenters, so I just want to make sure that we've got enough time. I'll turn it back over to Mario, but first I just want to say again thanks to all of our presenters. And on behalf of myself, USAsia Venture Partners, I want to thank everyone who came out tonight. Thanks, Mario. And of course, thank you.
Thanks, Scott. So I guess I'll wrap it up for tonight. I just want to say thanks to PARC for hosting us, Nico Nico, and also Scott Ellman and USAsia Ventures for helping put this together. I think Kemi was very instrumental. I think 5 months ago, she came up to me and says, "Hey, we should do a focus on Japan night." And it's been 5 months in the planning, so it'd be great. And thank you for everyone who came out from Japan, the panelists. Let's give them a round of applause, guys. So next month, we don't have anything on the agenda, so if you guys are interested in sponsoring or have an interesting topic, I'm open for that. July, we have coming up, looks like an event with Nokia. August is still open. September, we have 2 events in the planning. October, November are still open, and then December, we're due the wrap up at the end of the year. So that's kind of like the calendar is making up itself as we go week by week. But I'll keep you guys informed for next month. Thank you.